Okay, so thank you for coming over to Brian for Liberty here. If you are on the podcast, thanks for jumping in. And if you found me here on YouTube, hello to everybody out there. Hope everybody's staying safe and healthy during our health crisis here. And you'll notice that I use the phrase health crisis instead of coronavirus because YouTube has taken the action of demonetizing videos about coronavirus. The good news for me is that I'm not making any money on YouTube because I have 5 subscribers and nobody watches my videos, so I can say whatever the hell I want. So let me just say real quick that I did a quick search. Okay, well, I did a search here on Google for coronavirus, and the top 3 stories were live feeds from NBC, or it was not 3 live feeds, a live feed from NBC, a story from the New York Times, and another story from CNN.com. And I'm just wondering if Google is allowing them to show up as the top 3 returns on a coronavirus search because those 3 entities are returning all the ad revenue that they're getting running coronavirus stories 24/7. I'm sure that's not the case. I'm sure that Google is going to be perfectly fine selling political ad space or political ad time to political campaigns that are going to attack Donald Trump due to his response to the coronavirus. And I'm not defending Donald Trump. I'm not making an argument. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy of giant corporations saying small creators and people who are trying to scrape out a living, creating content for your platform aren't allowed to make money on this. But certainly the big corporations, the media conglomerates, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and of course Google are going to be raking in cash because people are glued to their screens in a 24/7 news cycle that's nothing but coronavirus nonstop. So I think it's a terrible move on YouTube's part. I think it's incredibly hypocritical on behalf of Google that they would take this step and take money out of the hands of their creators to try and pretend like they have some kind of moral high ground here when you know they're going to be selling ad space. You know that the other people on their network, the people whose results are going to be at the top of their pages, CNN, New York Times, et cetera, are going to be making millions of dollars selling ad revenue and taking advantage of the captive audience that they have. So I just wanted to get that out because once again, I can say coronavirus as many times as I want to because I'm not monetized because nobody's watching me. But hopefully you have joined in and you like what I have to say and you'll take a minute to subscribe to my page and maybe even share the video so we can get the word out. In the meantime, I did run across a wonderful statement from the Congresswoman from New York, Miss Cortez, just praising America. I think you all know I'm being facetious there. Talking about universal health care, talking about what kind of society we live in. And with no further ado, I think I will give you Miss Cortez in all her glory.
And everyone, we need to expand our public health care systems, drop the Medicare age to 0. Some people are arguing for mass enrollment in TRICARE. Whatever way we can get this done, let's get it done. Because when there's 10 million people that have just been suspended or just been laid off or furloughed from work, that's 10 million people whose health insurance is now imperiled. And there is no reason why you getting laid off from work should be the animating basis for you not being able to.
Okay, so here we go again. We are going to keep running into this situation where every time there's a crisis, we're going to try and use it as an excuse to expand the government. We're going to try and use it to create new social programs. And a couple of things that she said here are really jump out at me. The first is whatever it takes to get this done, let's get it done. No, how about we do this? How about we look at intelligent solutions to our healthcare problem and try and create good solutions, not just whatever we can do, let's do it. No. We have to make good decisions, smart decisions. We have to create a healthcare system that is better than the one we have. There's no question we have issues in our healthcare system, but this let's just get something done to get it done is how we ended up with the garbage Affordable Care Act that Obama passed. So let's actually work on intelligent legislation, not just trying to jam something through. Second is always the people lost their jobs and now they don't have health insurance, so we need government health insurance. And we're never going to talk about the fact that the reason health insurance is tied to employment is because of ridiculous federal intervention in the healthcare market during the Great Depression, which had nothing to do with healthcare, which is a government-created issue, and that is easily solvable at no cost to the taxpayer. But no. Government created an issue, and now we have to use government to solve it, and we have to massively expand this thing. We're not going to talk about how we're going to pay for it. We're not going to talk about what a good solution looks like. We're just going to say whatever we can get done, let's cram it through, and we'll worry about the consequences afterwards. We've already done Affordable Care Act once. Let's not do it again. Let's come up with actual good solutions for healthcare.
This is supposed to be the richest society in the world. And I think what this crisis is showing us is that this is only a rich society for a very small amount of people. And it is a brutal, barbarian society for the vast majority of working class Americans.
Okay, so there you have it, folks. A harsh, brutal society for most working class Americans. This is coming from a congressperson who was a bartender and worked her way into Congress. She should be so proud and so amazed at her own accomplishment and that the opportunity that's laid in front of every single American, that she was able to go from where she was to where she is and to have this powerful voice. She should be praising the American opportunity. She should be telling people what a great society that they live in so that they feel empowered to take advantage of it. Instead, what she's telling you is that it's brutal and it's barbaric and it's terrible. At the end of the day, the only way you can succeed is if she can get her way and give you a government handout. That's what she's telling you. That is what her message is. Nothing makes me more angry than that. And it's not even about the politics of it. It's really not. It's not about left and right and all that stuff. You are screaming a message all across America to young women, young black people, people in vulnerable positions, that they can't succeed, that this society is crushing them, and that the only way they're going to have any level of success is if you get your way and steal a bunch of money from the taxpayers and give them a big handout. And that's their path to success. And that is garbage, and that is lies, and you are not spreading a message of truth and a message of hope. What you are doing is spreading lies to try and push an agenda in the middle of a crisis, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Okay, well, thank you for that moment. I am all calmed down now. I wanted to thank you guys all again for checking me out on YouTube or on the podcast. Again, if you're on the podcast, please follow. If you are seeing me on YouTube, please take a second to like the video and subscribe. And if you're feeling really generous, share it with your friends. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.